Also, if you're learning anything, it's medical background.
Oh, okay.
All right.
This is the Blackheart International AK104. It is in 7.62 by 39. Has a number of features that we designed ourselves at our shop. We've got an extended upswept charging handle. It's easier to get a hold of whether you're going over or under. We've got an extended mag release, so it's easier to do your mag releases. It won't slip off as easy, your thumb. Right now we've got a Krebs custom peep sight, but we're making our own peep sights here at Blackheart. So you have a peep sight instead of a notched sight. We add a tritium front insert for the front sight so you can see it at night. We have an enhanced selector lever, which you can run with your trigger finger. It also has a bolt hold open feature, so you can pull the bolt to the rear, press the safety up, and it will keep the bolt to the rear for reloading or for admin purposes. We have a Veltor SOP mod stock in the rear. Right, it's collapsible, extendable, depending on how full of the shooter. It also has battery compartments to store extra batteries for lights or lasers or whatever you need to do. On the front end, we have a Surefire 4-rail system for the AK series weapon. It's a brand new product of Surefire's that we're putting on our AKs. And also, this is a modified AK104 that actually has a 30 caliber AK74 compensator on it, which helps keep the barrel down instead of climbing in the full auto fire mode. On the side of the weapon, we have a Krebs enhanced foregrip. It is offset to the side to enable you to load your magazines for the AK47, and it is also at about 3 degrees off of 90, so you can pull it into your shoulder nice and tight. On the front portion of the weapon, we have an Aimpoint Comp M2, has a 4mm dot, good for the close quarters battle. This is the Blackheart International AK105. This is a modified version of the AK74. It shoots the 5.45 by 39mm round. It is just like the AK104 I showed you before, but in a smaller caliber. It's in the 5.45. Also, one of the additional improvements on this weapon is we're using the Command Arms TDI X47, which is a 5-rail system. It has a rail on the bottom, a rail on the left and right side, a rail over the gas tube, and then a rail over the top cover to attach any optics that you need. It has a side folding stock for storage and ease of transfer, so it comes into a smaller package.
This is reasonably new. All the different stuff you get with this, same system. But what they've started to do is right here.
Yes.
Is 7.62 AP armor piercing plate. So you have rifle rated on the sides, which gives you a little bit more side protection. This is same thing here. Generally keep tourniquets, GPS, gear, radio, flashlight, mag pouches, mags, and med kit.
Oh, thank you. 15.
Yeah,
15.
and the bad part is there's no ammo. Yeah, you got plates in front, plates in back. It's not too bad like this, but with ammo, it's bearable. But that company is, I've known Patriot Performance for about 10 years, and really quality stuff. Really good guys. The best thing about an AK is it's reliable, and it shoots a bigger bullet, and it kills people better. Okay? You know, that's what it was designed to do. It's designed to run. It shoots a big bullet. It has more stopping power. The key function is it's reliable. It can be dirty, it can be wet, it can be sandy, and when you need it to go bang, it goes bang, and it puts a smackdown on folks. You know, in a nutshell, that's it. Accuracy is, you know, it's not as good as an M4, but then again, average engagements are less than 100 yards. It'll do fine. 95% of it's the shooter. You know, so I would rotate and I would rack here. But with this, you can, it's very fast to load and then come under and rack that way.
I see.
So it's preference. Preference, you can come here, load, rack here, or come in here, load, rack, back to the ready.
All right.
Here we go. When you're talking about recoil, the gun doesn't recoil hard at all. It's not like an M4 is a real quick impulse. Boom. AKs has a what I call a softer push. I think it feels more comfortable. But it has more energy. But it's like a push. You're gonna feel more ka-joosh instead of bam. Ka-joosh. So, like if I'm shooting, that is a technical term. Look it up in the dictionary. Okay. All right. If I'm shooting an M4, I generally shoot an M4 the same way I shoot a pistol. Okay, because it has such little recoil. I can use the exact same stance as I shoot a pistol with. All right. So even if you're bladed off a little bit, AK is going to have a little bit more recoil to it. The energy is going to push me back slightly more. So what I'll do is, okay, I'm shooting M4. I'm shooting an AK. I just come a little bit more forward. I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive with the bend of my knees. Okay, now I'm shooting an AK. Now I'm shooting an FN. Okay, depending on the caliber, depending on the weapon system, I have to keep upping my aggressiveness because the recoil generated is going to be greater. But I try to maintain as much of a standard pistol stance as possible. I like to keep my shoulders as bladed towards the target as possible. The more I rotate my shoulder forward, the better pocket I get and the better I mount the gun. The philosophy is similar to a shotgun. If you don't mount the shotgun really aggressive, what happens? It kicks your ass, right? The harder we mount a shotgun, the better we can control recoil, the faster we're on the sights, the faster we can shoot. So why wouldn't you take that same principle and apply it to any other shoulder-fired weapon system? I see more people shoot an M4 and that shit's just bouncing around and they're fucking taking... I mean, mount the fucking gun. I mean, that gun, the more you mount it to your body, the dot, especially if you're shooting the dot doesn't move. It just tracks real nice. Same thing for this weapon system. Also talking about the whole army blading off to the target, okay? Energy, path of least resistance, okay? So if I'm gonna go like this and I'm gonna shoot, where's the energy gonna go? Where's the weakest part of my shoulder? Right here, and what does my body do? I have nothing to stop that. So as I shoot, I'm gonna get boom, and it's gonna come way off target. If I'll rotate my shoulder forward, even if I'm gonna stay bladed, if I rotate my shoulder forward, the energy comes into here, and the gun will recoil into my body, and I can control the weapon system much faster. okay? Just like locking your wrist, instead of locking your wrist, what are we doing? We're basically locking up our upper body and we're mounting the gun tight into our body. So the tighter I am to this, it's going to recover quickly and it's going to recover quicker back on target. I already pretty much went over the loading procedures, right? So it's going to be the same. A couple of things that'll speed the process up a little bit. All right, basically you're not going to get a lock bolt. The bolt's not going to lock to the rear like it does in an M4. You're going to get a click. Two trains of thought on that. Some people say to cycle and then get a click because either it's a malfunction or the gun is run dry. These malfunction so rarely that you can almost automatically go into reload if it has a click. So I'm not going to say there's 100%, which is like Tom says, you rack, click, unload, rack. Basically, you're always going to rack before you unload, and you're always going to rack once you load. We're not going to get too deep into that. You're going to get a click, all right? Once you get a click, it's all right. Hey, as long as you're comfortable with it, I am. If you want to stand in front of me, it's all right. Like I said, if you're not comfortable just loading out here, if it's a little too heavy for you, bring it right in underneath your pocket, okay? Right underneath my elbow, I can do this all day long. Principle is what? I don't want to get into this shit, okay? Head goes down, I just lost situational awareness. It doesn't aid me at all. I gain nothing from doing that, all right? So I'm going to keep my head up. If you want to, these aren't your magazines. If you want to just get rid of this magazine, I'm going to hit and tap, and the magazine will go away. Okay, I'm not concerned with that magazine. When you grab your other magazine, this is where we need to slow down just slightly. Make sure you have a good positive grip on it. I'm going to watch it in, rotate forward. You can do a push. You guys with the regular handles, at this point, you can either come underneath and rack, which I recommend you do, is rotate, look, rack with this portion of your hand. Do not come over and do this. This little piece right here will gouge the fuck out of you, okay? It'll bite you. It'll bite you hard. So when I do the initial load, I rotate here and I come over the top, rack, release, remount, okay? Click. Remount.
A little bit of a technique with the 47 version, not the 74. That, as a beginner, would be a pretty good rule of thumb to load your magazine. Once you've done your click, you've got rid of the old magazine, lay that magazine almost flat, right here on the bottom of the receiver. I guarantee you, you will get it in there every time. In front of that magazine is going to slide up into the magazine well. Just rotate it straight back. It'll go in every time. All right? Until you get good to where you know the angle it needs to go in at, a lot of people are going to get it jammed. Like you said, when you jam the steel magazine in there, there's no give to it, and it's a son of a bitch to get out. Lay it flat, it goes in automatically. Perfect right there. Pull it back. Every time. Flat, lift, rotate.
Seeing some consistency. Up. So I'm going to do like my standard pistol stance and see how well I can control it on 2 to 3 rounds, okay? So I'm just going to come up, still going to mount something. See how some bitch is rock. There's nothing I can do that's gonna stop that energy from knocking me back. So I gotta do something with my body. So I'm gonna bend my knees a little bit more. I'm gonna kick my foot out a little bit more, and I'm gonna do, instead of a quarter crunch, I'm gonna try to do about almost a half, where my whole body is gonna try to get in there and really suck. Okay?
The problem is with this, it has a lot more tendency to miss the lug and get that stud socket stuck in here. Okay? Then you're going to be out of battery like this. This Russian mag won't do it as bad, but you will fight with this all day long. Okay? The key is, with this magazine, with unloading or when it's jammed, do not put your hand on the front of the magazine when you push this. That magazine release, pull the stud farther back in and jam it works. You have to hit the button first, push forward on it.
Two to the body. Up. Up. Three to the body. Up.
You lean into it good. You've got your knees flexed, you're leaning into it, shoulders are square, elbows are down. It's like that. I mean aggressive. And if you don't, it'll kick your ass all day long. Got to stay nice and flexed on your knees. You got to let that shoulder take all the recoil.
Up. You owe me one.
You got 2 and 1 down.
These two.
Semi.
Yeah, full. We'll go full. To the head. Up. That thing doesn't even move. Three to the body. Up.
Go down. Go, Chad.
Slow down.
Three to the body. One to the head. Up.
Hitting him with your shoe.
Two to the body. Up. Three to the body. Up.
Broke all the switches. Finally grabbed the flash water and